Hello, Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here, guys. All right, Scorp. So, needing to reach out right now and stop trying to keep something that is not worthy of you, basically. So, from Lay Vampire, call for help, reach out, need for backup, and admit your needs, and then discovery from Chakra Wisdom. Call for help is interesting. This one talks about needing to work with shielding techniques and needing to protect yourself, but it also talks about removing untrustworthy people from your space and not like letting your guard down. But I don't know, I feel more so it's about admitting what you need, because you may be trying to keep something that isn't worthy of you, again with discovery. You know, it asks the question, are you trying to recapture a past that no longer fits? You know, and really, are you happy with the situation that you're in now, and how is it benefiting you? It really is about leaving the past behind, but now the card at a glance says, in the past, you may not have been fully prepared to face facts. Being willing to take the journey regardless of the outcome will prove rewarding. Get ready to carry a commitment through to completion. You know, for some of you, it's just discovering what... All right, Scorp, here we go. Here's your overall for the week. The sun. The sun. Yay. Yay. So with the sun being the overall, no matter what you're dealing with, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I mean, yeah, you know, we could be talking about a draining situation, but really, you know, when I see this, I think it's an opportunity to feel better, feel revitalized, right? But then seeing everything for what it is, everything being brought out into the light of day. But very nice. Now, oh boy, in the past, the Nine of Swords, mental torture, a little bit, overthinking things, playing that chess match in your mind. You know, the Nine of Swords, right, like the Nightmare card. There may have been like a lot of anxiety surrounding a situation, but it may be because you're overthinking things, possibly. You know, and with the sun being there, right, like it's all coming out now. Oh boy. All right. Now, in the present, why? The Four of Pentacles. Now, you know, it's one of those things where you've reached a level of stability, and it's really about not wanting to give up what you've gained. You know, I've always said that this is somebody who's trying to maintain their status. You know, definitely holding on too tightly to something, but then also not willing to give any more to these kinds of thoughts, though, absolutely. Especially if you're seeing everything for what it actually is now. You know, but what is it that you're either hanging on to or not wanting to give to anymore? You know, but like I said, no matter what, it has to do with you not wanting to have anything affect the stability that you've gained now. Oh boy. All right, so future conditions, the King of Swords. You know, I worry about that because of the Nine of Swords being the past still coming through on this. With the King of Swords, we could definitely be talking about a person that you're going to be dealing with here. You're looking at air, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But then I also feel like some of you are getting to a place where you're seeking the truth. Seeking, you know, clarity. Not thinking so emotionally. But I don't know. You know, that worries me when I see him, just because we're talking about Scorpio. Now, with the sun being there, like I said, I think you're fine. No matter what happens here, what you're dealing with, I think you're okay. And you may be overthinking things and still dealing with that because you may not know what's going on, possibly with another person. You know, there may be some anxiety over either actions that you've taken in the past or haven't taken. But I don't know, I still feel like you're dealing with a person here, and the way that it's affecting you is like emotional detachment. That or you're dealing with somebody who isn't showing a lot of emotions, you know, and like I've always said when it comes to this, it's not that they don't have it. But like I said, with the sun being there, it's like everything is, it's like all the cards are out on the table now. Oh, Scorp. Your best path to follow, the Knight of Cups. Now, in terms of you, when we're looking at the Knight of Cups, it's definitely about following your heart. Now, you may need to make an offer, or you need to accept an offer here when it comes to the Knight of Cups. But this is usually having to do with wanting to share an emotional experience. I mean, that's really what the Knight of Cups is looking for, you know. That's why he's referred to as the messenger of love and romance. You know, but with the sun being there, like I said, I don't know, I feel more so that it's going to have to do with, you know, you going where you're going to be happy, you know, and where you're going to be able to share that cup, so to speak. But like I said, for some of you, it could definitely be about an offer that may come through that you need to either accept or make. You know, but there's definitely emotions involved in this. But there's a lot of overthinking about it, though, too. Oh, boy. Oh, good Christ. In your environment, the Lovers, and the Four of Pentacles being connected to that, you know, it could definitely be a relationship that you're not wanting to give up on. You know, but it's not like a Nine of Wands type of feel. But then the other thing is you're not really reaching out, though, either. And that may be why the Knight of Cups is there. With the Lovers being in your environment, yeah, I mean, we could definitely be talking about major life choices, right? But, you know, I'm looking at it like this, and I'm wondering what's happening here. But just like this, it looks like there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of overthinking. Everything comes out into the light. You have this situation with the Lovers where you're either making a major choice or we're talking about a major relationship here. And then you do have the Knight of Cups. But what is it that you're withholding? You know, and that may be why we're looking at this here. But like I said, I'm looking at a person in future conditions here that you may be dealing with. And I wonder if you're withholding because you may not be getting a lot of emotions from this person. But like I said, you know, with the sun being there, you're fine. Like, you're fine. But I'm looking at this and then, you know, I mean, just through here, it really looks like this is a good situation, but there's like too much of the thinking around it. You know, if I say something, what does that mean? What's going to happen? You know, if I don't say something, then I'm just, you know, still stuck in this space right here thinking about things or overthinking things, but you're still withholding. Oh boy, your hopes and your fears, the Hangman. And like I said, I don't, you know, and I go back to call for help, and I think that some of you just need to admit what it is that, you know, you're wanting or needing when it comes to a relationship instead of like withholding. But like I said, I think that the reason why you're doing that is because you may be like waiting in that state of limbo and not knowing here how somebody else may be feeling. You know, but with the Hangman, right, the fear would be that you're either staying bound to a situation where, you know, nothing's really happening, or you're waiting to see, you know, the different perspective here when it comes to how somebody else is feeling or thinking. I don't know, I feel both when I look at this. As far as your advice, but then I also feel like you need to go where you're going to feel good, where you're going to feel uplifted. But, you know, like I said, with the Lovers being there, I mean, you know, but continuing to be in a state of limbo when it comes to what is happening with a relationship. Like, I totally get that as far as the fear goes. Like, I understand, you know, but maybe the only way to break that is for you to speak up, though, you know, and stop withholding. And then coming out, wow, justice, damn. Whew. Now, if we're talking about like a legal situation here, looking at it this way, I think that, you know, things go okay. There may have been like a lot of fear and anxiety in the past, right? That with the Lovers being in the environment, if we're talking about a relationship here, with justice coming out, you know, what is fair and balanced? You know, and either you or the other person here may need to like accept responsibility for, you know, things not moving. But like I said, it's like everything comes out though, you know. You may be withholding now, but eventually everything's going to come out, you know. But again, we're looking at fairness and balance with justice. You know, and you may be dealing with somebody, though, who is, like, weighing out their options, though, too. Especially if you're withholding. So, now, because I'm not seeing the Two of Pentacles, I actually feel like this is definitely going to have to do with a person here. But, like, I feel more so that some of you may be carrying this energy. But then I also feel like this may be the same person. But let me just explain here. So when we're looking at justice, we're talking about needing to make sure that, you know, we're making the right choices, the fair and balanced choices, right? With the Queen of Cups, there's a lot of emotional attachment. You know, and we can definitely be talking about you being a little bit more in tune with your emotions and maybe expressing them a little bit better. But, you know, the problem is, though, is we're looking at the Hermit. So it's like you're still withholding here. And it may be that you're still looking at, you know, what you actually want or what you actually wanted when it comes to possibly a relationship. But looking at the King of Pentacles coming out, like, you know, I'm looking at it as there is definitely emotional involvement on your part, you know, because like I've said, I've always seen the Queen of Cups as Scorpio anyway. But with the King of Pentacles ultimately coming out on this, you know, it may be that instead of staying in this state here or like not moving away from the past, it's like you start to see that, you know, this person, it can be dependable with the King of Pentacles because dependability is what comes up with this. Now, normally with the King of Pentacles, you're talking about Earth, right? I mean, you know, to me, it's more about the personality, but he's usually very giving of his time and his resources. Somebody, you know, that is willing to help. And then I look at call for help, and I think that if you reach out to this person, that they may actually, you know, give you what you are needing. But it's like they're going to tell you what you need to hear, though, in terms of what is right and what is fair. Especially when it comes to a relationship. Like, they're going to tell you that, look, you know, I'm willing to help and provide what I can, but, you know, this situation needs to be balanced. Like, I keep going back to this feeling. It's not about a one-sided situation or things being unfair. You know, it's just that for making a final choice here, right? Like, the pros and cons, I feel like more so with justice being there. But, you know, like I said, as far as like court cases go, and I say that because of the King of Swords being attached to this, is this could definitely represent legal advice. They may get you to a spot where, you know, things come out. You know, and this could definitely be somebody you can depend on. But I don't know, I see this as the same person almost. I mean, you've got Virgo and then you've got air going on. But, you know, like I said, I see this as you. I see the emotional attachment. I see the need to really look at, you know, what what you want, you know, but then really looking at what's going to be fair, right? With the Hermit too, you know, and looking at the Four of Pentacles, it's like going through that soul-searching process and understanding that, you know, things can't be withheld anymore. Like everything needs to come out, especially with the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling. You know, but I kind of go back to this. If you have somebody that you can trust and who is dependable, maybe it's time to like give in to that though, you know, especially if you're feeling it. And I go back to the Lovers. And then you needing to reach out. You know, but then this person could definitely be coming through and like correcting some things that may be going on though too. You know? But there may be, like I said, because I'm looking at it this way, going, there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to this. You know, it's a big thing for you. This isn't small. Whether we're talking about major life choices or a commitment, a major relationship here. Okay, so for those of you who are single, it is safe for you to love. Now, with the Two of Pentacles, you know, and I go right back to the Nine of Swords, you may be like hesitant or like unsure, or embarrassment comes up with this one about approaching somebody, about saying something. And again, I go back to this feeling of withholding things, withholding what you're wanting, or withholding how you're thinking or feeling. But it's saying that it's okay for you to go ahead and approach them. But I think that some of you are in this state right now where like I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should say anything. I don't know if, you know, this person is going to turn their back on me or reject me. But, you know, this is just hesitancy more so for me than anything else, you know, afraid of being rejected, or just dealing with somebody that you feel like you can't approach or say something to. But like I keep going back to this, it's okay. Like, it's okay for you to do that. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, you're needing to give your relationship a chance. But with the Two of Swords, this is one of those things where somebody is making an offer and another person doesn't really know if it's the right thing for them. And I don't know, you know, because I go back to the Knight of Cups and think that you're either needing to give or take here as far as an offer goes, especially with relationships. But I don't know, I kind of get the feeling that this is you turning away because you're being asked to give the relationship a chance. You know, but what they're offering may not feel like it's good enough though too. You know, it's just a matter of whether or not you're going to accept or reject. But like I said, you're being asked to give it a chance here. You know, you just may be looking at it right now like, you know, it needs to be a little bit better. Like, I kind of get that feeling from that. But I would say, Scorp, more so than anything here, you know, you're going to have to reach out. If you want somebody to understand how you are feeling, you're going to have to stop withholding here, and you're going to have to say something, you know, and come out of hermit mode here and trust that, you know, everything's going to be fine. Because again, with the sun being there, like, I feel like you're going to be fine. Once you release that and you reach out for that assistance, it's going to be easier for you to walk away from, you know, that past with the Nine of Swords being there. All right, Scorp, so I do think that you're going to have to reach out here. You're going to have to reach out, and you're going to have to stop keeping yourself in the past, looking at discovery. You know, it talks about a new level of self-care, too, with this one. But needing to actually admit what you think, what you feel, what you're needing. And again, with the sun being in the overall, you're fine. And I do think that you need to go where your heart is leading you. You know, now normally that's not really good advice for Scorpio, but seeing these two, yeah. And again, with the Knight of Cups, it's either needing to accept or make an offer. Now, there's definitely a lot of anxiety and a lot of overthinking when it comes to either major choices that you're making or a relationship here with the Lovers. But, you know, it's leading you to a spot here where you're withholding right now. You're withholding when it comes to, this relationship or this choice. And it's because there's a level of stability that you have right now that I think that there may be some anxiety over losing. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Now, for some of you, I do think that if you're dealing with court issues, I think you're going to be fine with the King of Swords and Justice being here, because I see him as like the counselor or like the legal advice, right? And eventually you get to a spot here where things work out nicely. But you're withholding and you're keeping yourself in this state of not knowing. With the Hangman being hopes and fears, but the only way that that's going to be broken is if you either accept or make, right? Now, as far as the clarifiers, like I've always said, the Queen of Cups to me is Scorpio, because you get fully emotionally involved in things. But you may be feeling very strongly, possibly having to do with a person. And I do think that we're talking about the same person here, because I'm not looking at you needing to make a choice. Definitely with Justice, we're talking about final decisions, but what is going to be fair and balanced. But I'm not looking at the Two of Pentacles. I'm not looking at the Two of Swords. I think this is the same person. But I think that you start to see them differently, and it's like they're going to be there for you in a way that I don't think that you had expected. But, again, this to me looks like somebody who's going to be telling you, what needs to be corrected or what is going to be fair and balanced when it comes to this situation. I see him as being a dependable person, but, you're going to have to come out of hermit mode here and stop withholding. But then, you may be really like looking now at everything that you've been through, possibly with this person, and then getting to this place where you finally admit how you think, how you feel. Again, looking at these two, right? I just think that right now you're withholding. Like you're withholding the way that you're thinking and feeling. But I see this as the same person. I do. I see this as the same person. They may not be coming off very emotional, but they're coming off very logically about the situation, but then being very practical as well. And they may be bringing like a level of stability to you, where you don't feel like you need to like freak out over losing what little bit you have, especially in terms of a relationship. But like I said, with the Sun being the overall, no matter what you're dealing with, whether we're talking about a relationship or a court issue here, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Now, as far as relationships go, it is safe for you to love. And then looking at the Two of Pentacles, this is about you feeling like you can't approach somebody with the Two of Pentacles. There's like a little bit of a fear and anxiety about, expressing how you feel. Embarrassment comes up with that one too. But it's saying that it's okay. It's okay for you to reach out, to say something. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, you're being asked to give it a chance. And then with the Two of Swords, I think that it's really about whether or not you're going to accept or reject an offer. But you're being asked to give things a chance right now. And I think you're the one that's kind of turning away and looking at it like it needs to be better. But there is definitely, a person who's trying to reach out. I just wonder if they're doing it in the right way, because I don't know, I feel like a standoffish feeling, but yet you're being asked to give it a chance. But, coming out of this, Scorpio, I do think that things are going to be fair and balanced, especially in terms of relationships. Looking at Justice coming out, but it's also about accountability. And that may be where, this person is coming through saying, well, we have to be accountable for, what things may not have gone right before and, fix that, which is possible. I just look at them as the person who is, they're not being cold, because it's not the Queen of Swords. You're just looking at somebody who may not be looking at it from an emotional standpoint, but just being more logical and more practical about it. But I do think that whoever you're dealing with is really dependable and maybe there to help you once you reach out and really start to express what it is that you need.